Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We got another great one for you today. We've got this nice animated gradient text up here. Now recently we've been doing this with custom CSS and I've been showing you how to code these things on your own. A lot of people are actually afraid of coding and CSS. I personally love it. It's a bit like painting to me. So today we're using a plugin called Divi Supreme Pro. And it is a pro plugin, so you do have to buy it to use it. But it's got so many extensions and extra features, it's really worth the effort. It's one of my favorites. If you want to learn more, have a look at our Divi Supreme playlist down below. So let me show you how to easily build this with Divi Supreme. I'm going to enable my Visual Builder. Okay, once enabled, I'm going to go down. I'll delete this module. I'm left with a row, the green tab there, and a section, the blue tab there, which I've got the dark background in. Let's add a new module. And as I mentioned earlier, if I roll down here, all these blue ones are the modules that you get with Divi Supreme, and there's about 50 of them. They are pretty fantastic, actually. And I've covered most of them in my Divi Supreme playlist. You'll find the link down below. What I'm going to use today is the Supreme Animated Gradient Text. And there it is. As you can see, it throws it in there and it's already animating for you. Obviously, put what you want to say in there. I'm just going to leave mine on the default there. Down below, we've got the animated gradient settings. If you go in there, you can change the direction of your gradient. At the moment, we've got it on -45, but you can flip it around any way you want. Animation speed. You can speed it up by moving to the left. It's a little too fast for me. Or slow it down by moving to the right. I'm pretty happy with the way it was. And as with all things Divi, if you don't like what you've done, simply select it, delete it, it'll go back to the default for you. Now obviously if you want to link this text to somewhere, you can do that down below in the link. Just put your link in there. Always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, put it in the same window. If you're linking off-site, open it in a new tab. That way your site's going to stay open. I'm not going to put a background in. Let's pop over to our design. Here we've got our heading settings. It's set as an H2. I'm going to use mine for the actual page titles. So I'm going to flip mine to an H1. Now, depending on where you have yours further down the page, you might want to change it to an H2 or even an H3. And if we look down below in the animated gradient text, here are the colors that we've got set up here. They actually work quite well for me. And you can add up to 4 of them. I'm going to leave mine just as they are, but you'll notice if I put a different color in there, it's going to do its different gradients. So you can get some fantastic effects. Let's just undo that. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. So we're still on the default. Down below, you can pick a font. And of course, Divi's got a huge amount of fonts. To audition one, just roll over it. It'll give you an example. I want a kind of blocky, bold font for mine. So I'm going to use Anton, which I've used before. So it's up here. There it is. I'm also going to make it uppercase. I'm going to pop it in the middle. And I'm going to make it much larger. Animated gradient text size. There you go, like a huge movie type title. Great. Well, that works for me. And you can change the letter spacing if you want to. If you want the letters closer together, hit the down arrow or use the slider there. Less you put it, closer they are. And that way you can make it bigger or smaller if you want to. Line height is the height it's got above and below with different lines, so we don't need to affect anything like that. I'm not going to put any text shadow on there. But a neat little trick, if anybody wants to use it, you can use a sort of blur shadow like that, and on a dark background, it sort of puts an internal shadow, which is quite cool. I'm not actually going to use it today, but that looks like almost like an embossed text if you do that. So let's put it back how it was. Just take that off. Fantastic. Not going to adjust the sizing or spacing. Of course, if you want this to be sort of full width, let's just save our settings here. You can go into the row and make the row full width. Over to design, sizing. Here's the row width right here. Make it full width, slide that up to 100 width, 100%. I'm going to copy that, Control C, and paste it down below in the max width, or you can just type it in if you prefer. Now we've got a full width row. So if you wanted to, you could go back into your module here, into the design, into the animated gradient text again. And you can ramp that size up. Let's perhaps type in 150 or something, maybe a little crazy. And you can have it huge like that. Like I said, it's kind of like a movie title or something. I'm happy with the way it was though. So again, I'm just going to undo that by hitting Control Z. Fantastic. And that's pretty much all there is to it. And like I say, that is a really eye-catching, nice little feature. Now, something that you might want to use this feature on, you can make it dynamic content and use it as your page titles on every page if you're happy with your design there. To do that, we go back into this module now, into the content where it says put in your text. Let's use dynamic content. Little disk type icon on the right hand side here. Let's give it the page or archive title. Can't remember what I called mine. Soon find out. Gradient text I called this page. Fantastic. Once you've got one like that with dynamic, you can save it to your library. Let's save this whole section here. I'm going to call it gradient title. Let's save it to my library. We'll save our changes now. Little purple button at the bottom. Save draft or publish if we're ready. And exit the Visual Builder. Now if we create a new page, we'll give it a title, whatever you want to call yours, obviously. Use the Divi builder. I'm going to build from scratch. I'm actually going to get rid of this. I'm going to add the section we just saved to our library. Add from library. I've got a lot in my library. New entries are always at the bottom. There it is, gradient title. I'm going to click on that. Use this section. And as you can see, it's come in with the page title right there. We can delete the section above. And you can reuse this on any page, and it'll always give you the title for that page. So there we have it. That's the fantastic animated gradient text module from Divi Supreme Modules. Now, Divi Supreme Modules is by far my favorite plugin for Divi if I've got to use a plugin. And you can find more with our little Supreme playlist down below. And if you want to buy it, I think you get 10% off from my affiliate link down there. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.